Angela Rayner and Sir Keir Starmer stand accused of being massive hypocrites. Angela Rayner is now officially under investigation by Greater Manchester Police over the sale of her council house and an alleged breach of electoral law. She denies all wrongdoing and she may well be exonerated by the police. But that's not the point. This is. She said a serving Prime Minister should resign when Boris Johnson was under investigation. She didn't wait for the outcome. She said it more than once. She put this tweet up: Boris Johnson's Downing Street is under police investigation. How on earth can he think he can stay on as Prime Minister? And attached to that tweet was this video of what she said in the comments.
Now there's a police investigation and the terms of reference for Sue Gray set by the Prime Minister himself are clear. If any evidence emerges of behaviour that is potentially a criminal offence, the matter will be referred to the police. So it seems, Mr. Speaker, potential criminality has been found in Downing Street.
And the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, has been at it too. He tweeted, "Honesty and decency matter. After months of denials, the Prime Minister is now under criminal investigations for breaking his own lockdown laws. He needs to do the decent thing and resign." And he said this in Parliament.
Prime Minister himself is now subject to criminal investigation. The Prime Minister took us all for fools. I can't tell you how many times people have said to me that this Prime Minister's lack of integrity is somehow priced in, that his behaviour and character don't matter. I have never accepted that. The Prime Minister should do the decent thing and resign. Continuing his leadership will mean further misconduct, cover-up and deceit.
Sir Keir Starmer mentions defending the indefensible in a longer version of that clip as well. He said that Miss Rayner has done nothing wrong, but he's refused to look at the evidence. He sent Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy out to say rubbish like this.
Look, I think there's a different arrangement and expectation for the Prime Minister than there is in this context. Okay.
Well, Mr Lammy, it certainly does seem that there's a different standard. Let's remind ourselves of Ms Rayner's tweet again, shall we? There we go. Boris Johnson's Downing Street is under police investigation. How on earth can he think he can stay on as Prime Minister? And today's statement from Greater Manchester Police: we are investigating whether any offences have been committed. This follows a reassessment of information provided to us by Mr Daly. Well, I've been told that Labour are already lining up Bridget Phillipson, the Shadow Education Minister, to take over from Miss Rayner. By Angela Rayner's own standards, she has to go. By Keir Starmer's own standards, she has to go. The replacement is waiting in the wings. Well, come on, get on with it then. Well, I'm joined now by former Education Minister Andrea Jenkyns. Look, Andrea, this does appear to me to be a question of hypocrisy, especially given what was said about Boris Johnson, who you are a massive fan of.
Complete hypocrisy, Patrick, and one thing the British public can't stand is the do as I say, not as I do attitude. They like fairness, and you know, come on, Angela, you've called out Boris and been so blatant about that. You mentioned Sue Gray in the clip, didn't she? Who went on to, let's not forget, she went on to become an advisor for Starmer. So come on, put your money where your mouth is and resign. And one thing that I can't stand as well, Patrick, is how it didn't have to go to the police investigating this. Come clean, publish your what you've been advised, your tax advice. Then we want you to put taxpayers' money on this.
The real line today, Andrea, is this is a witch hunt. This is a working class woman, and this is why everyone's getting on their high horse about it. How would you respond to that?
Oh, for God's sake, it's codswallop. I'm a working class woman. You know, she needs to get a bit more grit there, doesn't she? I mean, and it's when it suits them. This is a woman who called, you know, people in my party scum. So that's acceptable, is it? No, it's not, Angela. So resign. You know, although, to be honest, she's great for the Conservative Party, so actually thinking about it, stay there.
Well, I suppose there is an argument that maybe the longer that she is in post, the best the Labour Party, the best the Tory Party might do. What she said is, she said that she will resign if there is found to be any criminality. She denies any and all wrongdoing. She may well end up being completely exonerated, of course. But is that a different standard that she's setting now than she set for Boris Johnson and other people? She didn't want to allow them to wait and see if they actually had done anything wrong. Just the very fact they were under police investigation was enough for her to call for them to resign, wasn't it? Completely.
And look at what Lammy said this week in that awful interview, which was embarrassing, saying there's different principles unless you're the party of government. I mean, that is appalling behaviour. And, I mean, to me as well, the fact that Labour have not let her be on the airwaves now for 2 weeks, what does that say? The Labour Party has not got confidence in Angela Rayner. And you're right, Patrick. They are waiting to replace her. So, yeah, it's good for the Tories have been there, but we cannot stand hypocrisy. Angela Rayner, just go. Well, it's an open secret, in my view anyway, about who they want to replace her. And, you know, I wonder whether or not they will just get on with it. Andrea, thank you very, very much. Great to have you on the show.